What's up, everybody? It's Doug here, and we are starting a new little bonus series where, if you haven't heard, there's a little thing called Steam Next Fest going on right now. And basically, what it is there are a bunch of demos out. Mainly, from what I could tell, it's mainly a bunch of indie developers, and it goes on for about a week or so, maybe a little bit more. So, as much as I can, I'm going to be trying these demos out, giving you my thoughts on them. And, we're just going to kind of go from there. Uh, if you haven't seen it yet, well, I mean, if you're listening to this as soon as it goes out, it's like, yeah, yeah. But, I mean, on Monday, which is going to be, I don't have a date. Hold on, I can, let me just do some math here. On the 26th of June, we're going to have the end, for now, of the Resident Evil review series. We just recorded it yesterday. It's a really good episode. You guys should check that out when it comes out. Also, we've got Retro Review Episode 3 that just came out. That's my solo thing that I do just to kind of pad things out whenever we don't have any content to release. And I guess that's about all before we go ahead and get into it. So we've got three games to talk about today, and the first one is a game called Eternights, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. But this is one of those games I've heard about before, but and I've never seen any trailers or anything like that on it. So it was the first demo I downloaded, and basically how I'm doing these is I download a bunch of demos, and then I put them into a random number generator. And this was the first one that came up. So this game is by Studio SAI. It's coming out on September 21st, and it's the retail price for it is $29.99, but it's on sale for $26.99 until release date, I want to say. So if you want to pick it up, it's on Steam, and I'm sure it's going to be on some other platforms as well. Uh, but basically, this is if you like Persona, you're probably I could say this is kind of like a Persona like. Uh, there is I'm not far enough to really gauge what exactly the game's going to be like. The game opens up and you and your friend are talking, and you're signing up for a dating app, and a few days pass by, and you're going to meet your date, and this weird virus, I guess is what it is, it breaks out, and it turns, people start going crazy. So you and your friend, you go to a shelter, and from there, you start to meet other characters, and you encounter these zombie-like infected citizens of. I mean, I'm assuming it's Japan, and I mean, so far, I haven't really gotten to see a whole lot of the game because the demo's not insanely big or anything. Uh, but the characters, I can say for one thing, I like the characters. The characters so far are really good. There's none that really. Well, there was one that annoyed me, but I'll worry about her really. The combat is, the combat's pretty good, and it's not like, I said, Persona like earlier, but the combat is not Persona at all. It is a hack and slash kind of game where you mash a button to attack, and then every now and then you'll see a red outline that is telling you that you need to dodge. And there are also these attacks that as you're attacking, you're charging this meter up, and when the meter's charged up, you can use I think it's called elemental attacks, but I'm not sure on that one. But basically, excuse me, you start these attacks, and it's basically these. There's a few QTEs, and it does high damage, and everything about the game that I've been talking about so far is pretty good, right? But the one thing that I don't like is there feels like a little bit of jank in the game. And what I mean by jank is like the when you're just traversing the world, moving around, going from place to place, it just doesn't feel as smooth as you would kind of want it to, and the animations and the cutscenes can be kind of rough. But there are when the cutscenes are not in engine and they are these little anime cutscenes, those are good. Those are really good. And by the end of the demo, I was definitely looking forward to where the game, I was looking forward to, what was coming next. And I didn't really, I kind of started to see that there are some social stats, and that you get, certain stats increase as depending on what dialogue options you pick. And I really liked that. And I'm intrigued to see where that goes. The Steam page for this, it said that it was a dating sim, but I really didn't. I mean, you meet one character that it seems like you'd be able to romance in the future in the game, but there was not really a dating sim element present in this demo. But like I said, this game is going to be $27 until it releases. Going off of what I played, I can see myself paying that price, pretty easily because Persona-like games are my jam. Moving on from there, there was Alien Hominid Invasion, and that is the studio behind that is the Behemoth. And on the Steam page, I don't know if it's somewhere else, but the price and release date are still to be announced. So we don't really have any idea when this game's coming out yet. But Alien Hominid, if you remember, was one of the original, or if not one, pretty close to the launch of the Xbox Live Arcade, and it was a fun little side-scrolling shoot 'em up game. And this game is kind of close to that. It's still a side-scrolling shoot 'em up game, but I could just be wrong and not remember Alien Hominid that well because I haven't played it in years. Uh, but this game starts off with you get the cutscene showing how your aliens are coming and invading planet Earth, and you've got the same great art direction and art style that Alien Hominid had. And when once you go through a short tutorial, it puts you on an overview of the neighborhood, right? And basically, there are three columns that you can pick from. And once you pick those, like you can see how many stages in each column, and there's different things to do in those columns. And you have a straight shot basically, where you have to. I think it was like 3 or 4 stages. And as you go through these stages, you have different objectives. Like there are these documents you have to collect, where you're basically shooting all the soldiers until you collect enough documents to deposit them in these little boxes, right? And just objectives like that. There wasn't any. Well, hold on. Let me get back to this. You're doing these objectives, clearing the blocks until you get to the end where you fight a boss, and that's basically how you take over that section of the map. And the gameplay is honestly from the demo, it was a little repetitive, and the, well, let me back up. It was a little bit repetitive, but you can change things up a little bit because there are these upgrades that you can get, and you can customize your alien as you go. You pick up weapons, and like you start off with your extra thing is a grenade, but you can pick up a jetpack boost to fly around, make things a little bit easier for yourself. And you can also pick up little cosmetics like my alien started out as a purple guy, but then I changed him to an orange alien with an eye patch. There are different weapons you can pick up are pretty cool. Like you start off with your normal alien blaster, but I picked up it was a little spread shot weapon, and then I picked up a minigun that I really liked. And the game, like I said, the game was, even with all the upgrades you can have, it was still a little bit repetitive. But from what I can understand, you can play the game online. So if you wanted to try it out for yourself, like I said, like I was saying earlier, the Steam Next Fest is going on, and I want to say it's like the 20 something, maybe the 26th, but you can just go on the Steam page to see that. And then the last game, I'm really excited about this one. I've heard about Sea of Stars for a long time. It is done by Sabotage Studios. The price is not on the Steam page yet, but the release date is August 29th, 2023. And I'd heard, like I said, I'd heard of this game, but nothing, really concrete. I hadn't watched like any trailers or anything about it, but I just heard that people were saying this game was pretty cool. This game is awesome. All right, just from the little bit I played, it's great, and it's exactly how a demo is, like I feel a demo should be. I started the demo, and it immediately gives kind of like a rundown. It's like, hey, this is going on in the story. Go, go do what you need to do. And immediately, I kind of got some Golden Sun vibes, for anybody who played Golden Sun like I did back in the day. And you're going through and you're kind of exploring an area, doing these little puzzles, and there's the combat is what I really wanted to talk about first. It's your standard turn-based RPG, but where the standards leave is there are like when you're being attacked, you can push A and you time it right, you can reduce your damage. And when you do melee attacks, it's the same way where you hit A at the right time, you deal more damage. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but like your abilities, there is one called dang it, I can't remember it, but like it's an ability where when you cast it, it shoots a blue sphere out, and it'll hit one of the enemies on the field, and it'll come back to you. And if you hit it right, it'll go and it'll ricochet. And you can keep doing that for a set amount of time until you either, A, you don't time it right and it comes back into your staff, or B, the attack runs out. But it's just little things like that, and the abilities are all really cool. The soundtrack is great. The demo is kind of set up into two different sections. The first one is, just you're kind of exploring around a little bit, and then a little bit of time passes, and you go into a village, right? And in this village, you kind of start to meet up with some of the other characters in the game. All the characters are really fun, and you can kind of peruse the shops, explore the town a little bit, and then you go to a dungeon. And without spoiling, I don't want to give anything away, but the dungeon, it felt really creative. It reminded me a lot of those. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of kind of the fun puzzles that were in those old SNES GBA RPGs. This game was hold on, let me finish this up. The demo ends with a boss fight. The boss fight was awesome. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but this is a really fun game, and it's like I said, one that was not really on my radar at all. It is absolutely on my radar now, and I think that's what is just really beautiful about this the Steam Next Fest. And oh, excuse me, that's all the demos that we I got to cover for today's episode. But I'm already started on tomorrow's episode. I'm I don't know if I can say which games I have picked yet off the top of my head. I don't have them. I don't have them memorized. Thing, but I know for sure one of the games is called Viewfinder because I've started that demo already. Cannot wait to fully talk about this game because this game is a treat. But like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing as many of these episodes as I can. Um, for sure, I plan on doing one episode a day until I either because here's the thing, how summer visitation works out is I have kids every other week, and basically what that means is I can't rightly record an episode of the podcast with kids in the back because it'll just be chaos. And so I'm going to record as much of these as I can. What I might just do is, on my lunch breaks, I'll sneak out to the car to record these since they're kind of a short format. But yeah, that's it for now. Like I said earlier, if you like the show, just go ahead and give us a like or a subscribe on whatever podcast service you're listening to. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you like any of the games that I've talked about today, you can go on the store, the Steam store, and you can, wish list these games. You can download the demos and try them for yourselves. I'll see you guys tomorrow.